Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I appreciate y'all being here. This is Unofficially IMO, and we are live, ladies and gents. We are live. We are ready to rock and roll. We are ready to do this. Yes, we haven't been live for a few days now, so yeah, kind of excited to get this thing going. Now, it won't be an extremely large live stream. It'll probably be, let's see, we started not even 2 minutes ago. So we may say about an hour. I'd say about an hour. I think that should do it, right? I'd say an hour should do it. That should cut it. Let me take a look at the live stream on my end, just to make sure everything is running smooth. Just to make sure everything is running the way it's supposed to. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Yes. I think we're ready to rock and roll. I believe we are. Everything looks solid, spot on. How's the music? Music sound okay? Very good. Very good. Very good. Nice. Good deal, guys. Good deal. Good deal. So again, we are live. I welcome all of you to episode, gosh, what episode are we on now? We are on episode 3. I'm going to turn this into I guess you could say it's a podcast now. This is effectively episode 3 of our podcast. And we're going to turn this into one. We're going to throw it up as a video on demand over on YouTube. And it's going to be fantastic, guys. It's going to be fantastic. Hard hitting, in your face. Just ready to rock and roll. Yes. Yes. And I didn't even hit live. What's up, Roman? What's up, Roman? Let me start this over. I wasn't even recording. Hello, welcome, guys. Welcome as you guys start pouring in. Maybe I should just wait and say for more people to start pouring in. We just got started. This is Unofficially IMO, episode 3 of our, I guess you could say it's a podcast. And I'm excited to get it going, man. I mean, yeah, this is episode 3. It's going to be a video on demand over on YouTube. And I invite all of you guys to make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please do that for me. If you enjoy the live stream, the live festivities that we have going on here on this channel, and we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest. Well, it's not greatest. I don't know why I say I that's just part of my vocabulary. When I say latest and greatest on anything, it's usually because it's just how I say things, like, yep, latest or greatest. But according to the reports that we're hearing as of right now, this is going to be, there's a couple different things I want to discuss here. The first thing being is the latest updates on the Nancy Guthrie case. And I kind of wanted to talk about that and just kind of go over, what the developments are as of right now. As we speak, today is February 12th, 2026. So we're going into day 12. I think Nancy went missing on February 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the latest developments as of February 12th, 2026. So again, ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you all being here. And if you're just joining us, we're following every twist in the heartbreaking, and it is heartbreaking, disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And hey, what's going on, Splash? I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all you guys being here. Gotta give the horn there. Gotta give the horn. Nancy Guthrie. Everybody knows that she's an 84-year-old mother of the Today Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, and she has some other siblings. And forgive me if I don't know their names off the top of my head. I know she has another sister, and a brother. I don't know if the brother Dawn's in the house too. Everybody's in the house. Beverly's in the house. Everybody is in the house. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You know what? Maybe I should start a poll on that. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's called, whenever individuals say that, it is a call to action. It is a call to action. So let's go ahead and start that poll. Let's grow our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's grow this channel. Let's get to my goal. My goal on this channel is to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. And we're about a quarter of the way there, 25-ish% of the way there. I think we have 227 subscribers. Awesome subscribers to the people out there. Then you know exactly who you are that are backing this channel and supporting this channel and believing in what we're doing here. And if you have subscribed, just so you know, you are appreciated and it does not go unnoticed. Okay. Well, here's the other thing too. I will get to some of your comments in the chat as well. And, we'll discuss any questions that you might have for me or just anything that's going on with the case as well. So again, Savannah Guthrie, is the daughter of Nancy Guthrie. And we do know that we're going on day 12 now of this investigation, which is crazy to me. And it is still very much, up in the air. We have no idea what's going on, as far as like her mom's whereabouts, where she's at. And if somebody claims to know exactly where she might be or have a hint of somewhere where she might be, we don't know about it because the media has no idea. We're just kind of speculating at this point. TMZ's getting some things as well and information, and we hear from Harvey over there at TMZ about the latest of what's going on with the things that he has and the things that's coming into TMZ as well. So just after sunrise in Tucson, Arizona, if you haven't been aware, this is in Tucson, Arizona of what's happening down there. Tucson, Arizona law enforcement rolled up to Nancy's home in the Catalina foothills, and they did something that hasn't been done before as of yet, which they put up a large white forensic tent right over the front porch and doorway there. So if you're not really aware of the tent, it's like just kind of picture the same Spanish tiled entrance, and I'm sure everybody has like seen that tiled entrance where her blood was found. The exact spot captured in that doorbell camera footage of the masked individual, that intruder that was tampering with the camera there. And for about an hour and a half, the tent completely blocked the view, so you couldn't see anything on that front porch there. And then I think it was about 5 FBI agents were inside of that tent, and reports say that that they even brought in, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, an astiometric board. And I don't know what an astiometric board is. I should probably look that up. And, oh, here we go. That is a forensic tool used to measure height and reconstruct scenes. So that's what that is. But why would they do that now? So why now? Why, the question that everybody is asking is why now? This isn't random. Like, the porch is ground zero for all this stuff, right? That's all like where everything is starting to kind of settle and take place. It feels like it's right there on that front porch. That's like ground zero. And it's where Nancy's blood spatters were confirmed by DNA. That's where all that was. And it's the last place that that masked figure was seen on video. Forensic tents like this are usually deployed to protect delicate evidence from wind, dust, or, things like that, while investigators do more of like a deep dive with extra, probably doing some extra swabbing, lighting analysis to match the security footage, or even kind of like re-examining the scene with fresh eyes after the new intruder video dropped that we saw a few days ago. Neighbors and news crews watched it all unfold as well. So, the media's out there, the neighbors are out there, everybody's out there in front of that house. Some are speculating too that they were trying to recreate the exact conditions of that early morning intrusion. Others are probably also wondering too if the new trace evidence turned up. So whatever the reason, the tent came down, later that mid-morning, and the investigation is pushing forward harder than ever. I'm assuming at this point, I think they're starting to kind of, build up to giving the media something as far as like what they know, as far as any new evidence to kind of support where she might be, or just any information, period. With thousands of new tips pouring in, people are calling and flooding the FBI tip line as well, of tips and things that people might be seeing to kind of help investigators pinpoint where her whereabouts, as far as Nancy's whereabouts, are. Also too, there's a black glove that they found on the side of the road. That glove is being tested for DNA. So that's like another development right there. I think that happened, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. They're testing it for her DNA, or the DNA that might be on, that could potentially belong to somebody else that they could retrace back to whoever that intruder was on that patio. Maybe that DNA is matching something there, and then they can go back to the database and try to find out who that individual was. And those mysterious ransom notes are still hanging over everything too. And they're arresting people that had nothing to do. Like, they arrested that individual that had nothing to do with the case, with anything that was involved with that. Like, that guy was arrested, and apparently he was really upset and mad about that. But people have to understand, like, they're looking for something specific. And if you match that description, they're probably going to want to talk to you. So, it's just the nature of the beast, right? But this case still keeps getting more intense. And when you think about her mother's vulnerability, that's a woman that needs medication, because there's reports of her needing medication. And, she has a pacemaker, and she still has not been found. And she needs they're saying that she needs medication. I don't know what type of medication she's taking. Obviously, I think it's for her heart, because she has a pacemaker. But everybody's kind of still holding out for hope. Everybody's still trying to, say, hey, her family still believes that she's alive, and rightfully so. You still want to hold out for that hope. And I think a lot of people are doing the same thing as well, to hopefully locate her and figure out where the hell she's at. Because, tomorrow's 13 days, y'all. 13 days of not finding out where, your mother's at. Who took my mom? Where does she go? So yeah, that's just like, I don't know what that feels like. That's super stressful, super intense. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that's like. I can only imagine, just if your sibling goes missing, your mom, your dad, or gets kidnapped or, whatever. So that's got to be a really, really tough feeling for the family. You could definitely tell me what you think. You could drop your comments in the comments section, respectfully, of course, because this is a very sensitive subject. It's not, it's not something that, I don't think anybody should really be, arguing over situations like this, because I do talk a lot about, politics and drama and things of that nature, and it tends to get people talking in the chat, and sometimes not so nice things start flying in the chat. So, but for this particular topic, I just ask you guys, if you do want to talk amongst yourselves or ask questions about it, just try to be a little respectful, just a little bit, and make sure you're also for individuals that might be within the Tucson area, that could be watching this live stream. If you have any information, just reach out to law enforcement there in Pima County, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and also to the FBI as well. I think the hotline is call 1-800-FBI, and still offering a big reward too for any solid leads. Now, as far as I know, the reward is $50,000, but as we're doing this, as we're talking about this right now, I just got a notification from a local news source in my area that there has been the FBI released new information about a suspect with the disappearance of her mom, Nancy Guthrie. And also too, also the FBI says that it has doubled the reward for those who's able to help locate the 84-year-old missing mother, Nancy. So that's what I'm getting here. They're also saying that the forensic analysis of the doorbell camera footage, that individual that was on the doorbell, the Operational Technology Division confirmed that the suspect is male. I kind of figured he looked like a male individual, but hey, what do I know, right? But it did look like male to me. A male, has an average build and is between 5'9" and 5'10". He's also wearing, as seen in the video, and we've seen the video if you haven't already. We can also check that out as well. He's wearing what it says here, he's wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail Hiker pack. That's what he's wearing. It's a backpack, according to the FBI. That's what they're saying. Let's see, Lee's recovery is okay. So now the reward has went from $50,000 to $100,000. So that's where it's at right now. So the reward has doubled to $100,000. And individuals are just any person can call 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can submit tips to tips.fbi.gov. So those are things that individuals can do as well. So yeah, that right now is the latest as far as the case goes. Now, there's a lot of speculation out there as far as like where she could have went. Now, if you ask my opinion, if you ask me, hey, where do you think she went? What do you think happened? Honestly, I have no idea. Being an elderly woman, I don't know her condition. They said she was just alert. And at least I think that's what they were saying, that she's alert, but she needs help walking. I think she needed assistance with a walker. But I think they said that she was fine mentally. Just, physically having some underlying health conditions, but I think just like with her mind and stuff, I think she was fine. As far as like where she went, I honestly don't know. I have no idea. Nobody does. And if the Pima County Sheriff's Department, if they have any indication of where she's potentially at, they haven't said anything. I don't think they know either. I think they're just trying to just find new stuff, and they're trying to connect the dots. They're looking for things, and they even said, hey, no more news conferences, guys. We're not going to do any more. We're done with that. And if we have any more credible information or any new developments to share with you, that's when they'll have another news conference. Now, there's either going to be one or two things that happen whenever that they do decide to do that with a press conference. The first thing is they're going to know, like, we have information as far as like where we think she might be. Okay, there's that. And the second thing is maybe they found her, but it wasn't the outcome that they were hoping for. Now, it's starting as each day goes by. You can't help but to say to yourself, is each day that goes by, that's not good. That's that we're day 12, tomorrow's day 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on and so forth, right? So each day that ticks by, each passing moment that ticks by is like, it just gets slimmer and slimmer and slimmer as far as hoping that she's alive. And I've seen enough in kidnapping cases too. I haven't seen enough kidnapping cases, but kidnapping cases in general doesn't happen a lot. Now it happens, but it's not like if somebody was to just go missing, they're here one day and just like gone. And there's like no evidence of them being kidnapped, taken against their will, or nothing, right? So that, I think that happens more so than somebody being taken against their will and held ransom and that those are two different things. Similarity, of course, but for somebody to just go, just get taken against their will and taken someplace and nobody knows where that's at, I think that doesn't happen at that much. It's kind of like a grizzly bear attack. Those don't happen very often. When you hear about them, it's rare. Now, again, I don't know the statistics or the numbers as far as like, people being kidnapped. It's not, I can't see it being too much, or as far as like the actual numbers, but people that go missing it happens every day. Just all over the world, right? People go missing every day. And as far as like the numbers as how many people go missing in the United States, just here in America, it's more so than somebody being kidnapped. But for somebody to just go missing and disappear and never be found again, that happens. And it happens more so than people think. I'm a huge fan of Dave Paulides. I don't know if you guys know who Dave Paulides is. If you don't know who he is, just look him up. He's on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He's phenomenal. And he used to be formal law enforcement detective. And he worked on missing cases all the time. And I don't think he has an opinion on something like this because it doesn't really quite fit the what he does as far as like missing people, because he talks about missing people that go missing in really odd circumstances. So like, like weather's bad around the time they go missing, or they go missing around water. Like there's really, really eerie, weird reasons why people would go missing. That's what he talks about. So it wouldn't necessarily fit this particular thing, but you can't help but to kind of have similarities in the two things there, because people do go missing. It's just not being kidnapped, or just people being actually kidnapped is that's probably less of something you would see versus somebody just going missing. Could you imagine going missing and just never being found again? That happens all the time. And I think I'm kind of getting off subject here, but again, they kind of go hand in hand. They have similarities. They're two different things, kidnapping and missing, just going missing without a trace. Those are two different things, but they have similarities, right? But for somebody to just go missing and never found again is terrifying. Terrifying. And there's all sorts of cases out there that you guys can go look up and find of people just disappearing and never to be seen again. And if they do find you, they either find you not with us anymore, or they find things that you had on you at the time of your disappearance, pieces of clothing, shoes, hats, cell phones, things like that people can go back and look at and figure out what the hell happened. But there's so many different cases of people just going hiking, and they're on the hike, a very well walked, very well known walking trail, like a main walking trail in a national park someplace in America. And then these people just they just disappear. Their cars in the parking lot. There's people there that's like, yeah, I saw that person. They were on the trail with me. Or like, there's situations where a husband is hiking with his wife, and his wife says, hey, we're going to hike this trail. And then they get to a certain part of the trail, and then they want to turn around. But then the husband just said, well, my wife wanted to keep walking. She'll just take the loop and meet me back in the parking lot. The husband's like, I'm tired, my ankle hurts, or I'm tired. I'm just going to turn around and go back. And the wife will say, yeah, well, I just want to finish this hike. And then it's a main trail, right? And then the husband may turn around and walk back. The wife keeps on cruising. And then all of a sudden, the husband gets back to the parking lot and is waiting next to the car, and his wife or even the husband doesn't return. Never to be found again. Never. And I think the largest cluster, I should do a thing on this. It's so interesting. And the largest cluster, I think right now of missing people in the United States is Yosemite National Park. I still think that is the largest cluster of missing people in one area. I think it's still Yosemite. I could be wrong, but according to Dave Politis, that is still the case to this day. And if you want to hear more about that stuff, you guys just let me know. I could talk about it. It's so interesting. I can do whole segments on this stuff. It's so interesting to me. But when you talk about the Nancy Guthrie case, and it's just, she's there 1 minute, gone the next. Well, she's missing. She's missing. We have no idea where she's at. But the difference of being missing and never found again, at least we have clues. We have, okay, we can start here, and then we can follow this trail, and this individual's on the Nest doorbell camera, and we know the height now, and they say it's a male, 5'9", 5'10", medium build or whatever. At least they have something there to go off of. With these missing person cases, they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing, and they cannot figure out for the life of them where that person went to. It's just like they're like just gone, never to be seen again. That's terrifying. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with Nancy Guthrie. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that they go hand in hand with each other to a certain extent. And then you start having differences, right? But they're similar. So we really do hope that she is found. But like I said, that's the latest on what we know up to date so far. Now there is one other thing I wanted to kind of discuss here. That's still the, as far as the case goes, I have to find, where did it go? Hang on, guys. Hang on a minute. I had it. I did. I swear to you, I did. I had a video, but where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Never mind. I found it. I got it right here. Don't worry, guys. I'm organized. I promise. Hey, we're live. This happens. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so this is a news clip from Fox News talking about I think this was today, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at it, and they're going to give us some more details about the Nancy Guthrie case. Now, if you're watching this on the horizontal, on the shorts feed, if you want to I'm also live streaming on the horizontal feed as well. And that's going to be better for the viewer experience. If you want to stay on the shorts, that's perfectly fine, but you're going to be limited to what you see here. You know, you're not going to see a full picture. So if you want to get the full experience of what we're looking at, come on over to the horizontal feed. So again, this is courtesy of Fox News, and let's take a look and see what's going on with the developments.
And Matt Finn is live outside in Anthony Guthrie's home, where we're seeing
this was
some
from
movement.
This morning,
Matt,
I believe.
describe the scene for us.
Yeah, in the past couple of minutes, we saw this white tent be put up outside
that's
of
the white
front
tent
door.
So this is the white tent right here. I turned the closed caption off. That everybody was talking about today. So they put this big old white tent up, and forensics was there doing their thing, and that's what we're seeing.
Of Nancy Guthrie's home. Obviously not clear why that tent is there, but it is certainly blocking view from the public and any passerbys. We imagine there might be some activity happening inside that tent, which is directly in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. Of course, that doorstep has now become such a critical element of this investigation, because we have seen that masked figure right outside of that front door. Also, the blood drops leading from the front door down the sidewalk.
But the thing about it is, that's driving me nuts about all this is why are they waiting for them to put a tent up and do all the forensic stuff now? You would think that would be day one that they would do this, day 2, day 3, right? Now, I don't know if they already did. I doubt it, because it's the first time that we're seeing this, but you would think that this would have been done immediately right away. Now, I think they're doing it because of the new the doorbell footage that they have of that individual. And, you know, they're probably trying to do some more DNA stuff in terms of that. That's probably why. And another thing you have to remember, guys, is that the sheriff's department probably isn't used to doing stuff like this. This is probably the most intense thing that they have probably had to do for either ever or for a long time. So this is probably new to a lot of folks for this sheriff's department as far as the investigation goes, at least on this magnitude. It has to be.
Walk to the gravel driveway. Perhaps the tent is protecting that blood and the evidence from the sun, or perhaps there will be ongoing investigations that they want to keep a little more discreet.
I thought they would have had that blood,
that white tent, but it was just put up moments ago.
I'm not a forensics expert, but I would think that
to us on the ground here right now that investigators have
really
really been focusing on
the
area in and around Nancy Guthrie's home, meaning foot searches on the ground.
Yeah.
Also over at Annie Guthrie's house as well. Over the past couple of days, our crews have seen foot searches, grid-like searches.
They were doing all sorts of stuff around the property. They were looking inside, I think, the septic tank a few days ago. I think they were sticking a camera down into the manhole cover and trying to just, you know, see it. I think they were looking for a body at that point, because they're like, well, I don't know what led them to the septic tank, but they were like, well, we should probably check that just to be on the safe side. Obviously there's nothing down there, but maybe evidence could have been flushed down there that they could have been looking for. I think they brought in cadaver dogs, I believe, that was on the property as well. So yeah, they're looking all over the place.
All times of the day, morning, noon, and night. In fact, just this morning, really only a couple of hours ago, one of our crew members saw the Pima County Forensic Unit.
Yeah, they did it because of the sun. Yeah, that too. Yep.
Searching a major thoroughfare around here, Campbell Avenue, taking pictures on Campbell Ave. And that was about a mile away from Nancy's house. And then yesterday, investigators found a black glove, also on Campbell Avenue, which is a busy street that feeds into Nancy's neighborhood. Then
it's so strange to find. I believe that's a black surgical glove, and the only reason why they're looking at this is because it matches. Obviously, it matches the type of glove that could have potentially been what the suspect, like what that suspect was wearing, the black surgical glove. At least it looked like a black surgical glove to me. I had no idea, but to me, I think that's like, oh, what is this? You know, and I don't think it was that far. I don't know. I think it was fairly close. Was it like within a mile, a quarter mile? I don't even know how they found that. I don't know if somebody just like pointed it out to law enforcement. Hey, there's a black glove here, and it looks like it was a glove that whoever that person was in the video was wearing. You guys might want to come check it out. I don't know how they found that.
That glove could be the type of clue that could offer critical
was it like
DNA
a block
evidence
away or something like that? I don't know exactly how far it was.
That was released outside of Nancy's front door shows that masked figure wearing dark gloves.
Yeah.
The surveillance video was released on Tuesday, but so far the FBI has not released a description of the person in that video, meaning estimated height and weight. We're told law enforcement is working on that description, but that ultimately could help the public narrow down exactly who they're looking for out here. So back live outside of Nancy's house, we will keep you updated on the ongoing investigation and developments here in the Tucson area. Back to you guys.
Yeah. So you can't, I just want to throw this out here. You can't get away with shit nowadays. You just can't. You can't get rid of anything. You can't go somewhere without leaving some sort of DNA on anything. So that's why the tent is there, obviously. And then to block the sun so it doesn't dry up that DNA, because the sun in Arizona will just it's so brutal. So I get why they did the tent and the forensics and stuff. But nowadays, if people just think they could just come and go and not be seen or heard or, try to commit some sort of a crime like this, do you not honestly think that they're not going to know who you are? Or especially the doorbell footage, they're going to find out who that is. It might be taking them a little bit more time, but they're going to find out who the hell that person is. It's just a matter of time. This isn't like the 1970s, man, where people could just get away with. It's all too way back when it was all too easy to get away with stuff. It's not like that anymore. It just isn't. I mean, and it's just getting more and more advanced, especially with the developments of AI, artificial intelligence and stuff like that. I mean, it's just going to be even harder for criminals to just get away with anything. It really is. And if you're dumb enough and stupid enough to just do something like this and thinking that, I'm going to get away with it. No, especially when you got the FBI involved. Now you got federal law enforcement involved for this. It's not just local and county police or even state police. It's the FBI. So, I mean, you can't get away with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's see. So I don't think really, let's see. Let me fast forward here. Okay, let's look at this.
Paul, good morning to you. So we're day 12, and yesterday morning we had this news from Harvey Levin saying that they had just received a note from somebody who says that the kidnapper asking for a Bitcoin. Later on in the day, we get this report that there's one glove found. Now this morning we see the tent outside the house. Based on your experience in terms of investigations, where do you see this on day 12? Is it slowing down, gaining momentum, about the right amount of time being spent?
I'm going to say there is no significant development in the case right now. There's just not. Because if it was, you would have had a news conference from or a press conference from Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI or something like that to give people updates of, what the hell's going on, right? But I don't think they know anything really. I mean, they know enough, but not enough to be like, hey, there's some significant change and development here. I think they're just kind of finding stuff here and there, and it's not really changing any sort of major breaking evidence, right? That's what I think.
Each place, your expertise means a lot to everybody listening, so we'll turn it over to you.
So, Dana, one thing about investigations, they have peaks and valleys. And right now, I would characterize it, despite the fact that we've had a couple of things that could be significant, I think we're in a little bit of a valley. Now, that doesn't mean that the case has gone cold,
right, or
that no progress is being made.
Yep.
And just let me explain that, in the past, people got very used to the
no
idea
progress
of the
being
first
made
48,
right now.
We've all heard that.
This
and
is
that was
today.
Because the forensics
this was from
were very,
earlier
very
today.
different. You were working with fingerprints and things that...
Now, granted, it was from 8:05 a.m. Arizona time. I as far as other than the reward being $100,000 now, it's doubled, and that they have an idea of the perpetrator, the suspect, of the height and being a male, I don't think there's really much else out there right now.
Came back much more quickly. You either had a match or you didn't. And you also did that off of interviews and things like that. These days, there is so much digital dust floating around out there that people
there's
leave.
A lot.
Never mind things like the fact that cars all have GPSs.
Yep.
These cars are rolling computers. They link to each other. They link to OnStars, things like that.
Yep.
People have dash cams. The point is, there's a lot of stuff that has to be gone through. And you and I worked the Colbert.
There's probably so much evidence involved, or not just evidence, I'm sorry. Just stuff, like he said. There's cameras, there's eyewitness stuff. There's people just reporting that they think they know something or have seen something or whatever. All the tips pouring in, which I believe there's like thousands of tips being poured in. They got to go through all that stuff. So they have like a team of just like analysts and investigators and just people looking at this stuff. It takes time. For me, it takes way too long. You would think that they'd be able to comb through that stuff real quick, but they gotta it's gotta have a human touch to it, right? So they're probably looking at camera footage from intersections in the local area there. They're looking at everybody's doorbell cameras that were within that area. So they got to comb through hours of that stuff. They got to, people are probably, the people that are taking phone calls on a regular basis is probably insane of the amount of calls that the police department and FBI is probably getting every single day, multiple times throughout the day. It's a lot. It's a lot for law enforcement to endure. And plus with the national attention that this is getting all over the place, it's this national news, obviously, that makes it even more crazy and chaotic, because now people are thinking, I think I know who this individual is. And then they're getting, there's just so much going on right now. So it's a lot to take in.
Your case together. And I remember being out there in Idaho when a lot of people were saying the case was cold and making this point, and then it was 6 weeks later. People forget it was 6 weeks before they buttoned that case up. They did it in the way that I'm describing. So could we get a break any day? Sure, we could get it today.
Good.
And Kesh Patel does say they're making progress and that they're looking at a few people. But I would just say, at this point, we may be into the analysis portion. What's upsetting about that is, of course, Nancy is still out there.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts as to why?
This poor guy, he's not from. I don't think he's out. I don't think he's from the West. I don't think he's from the desert at all, from Arizona. I don't think he is, because every time he's been out there, there's been segments of him just coughing his head off. I don't think he's used to the dust. And he's just like so many times that just caught this guy coughing. It's crazy. But there's a picture of the glove. Obviously, I think that's, I don't know if it was like on the side of the road. I think it was on the side of the road, where they found it. I think that's where they found it. It's like off the side of a main, street or highway somewhere, within the vicinity. I just don't know how far away it was from her residence here, from this house. It might have been within just a few blocks, or like maybe a mile or something like that. I'm not really sure.
Investigators seem to keep returning to Annie Guthrie's home.
I really don't.
Does he have allergies?
I know that there have been various tips coming in.
This guy must have
allergies. As a result, I think they're pursuing those, but I don't see it as all that significant.
Click here to subscribe to the.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the latest and greatest on. See, I said it's not greatest. It's not great. It's bad. It's part of my that saying is part of my vocabulary. The latest and greatest. The latest on Nancy Guthrie's case, which is pretty much, we still have no idea where she's at. We have no idea where she is at right now. And if we do, they're not telling us. And I don't think law enforcement knows. And again, going back to where I think she's at, I don't know where she's at. But again, the longer that this goes, because her medication and the things that she needs on a regular basis was not taken with her. They're saying that all her stuff was there. Her clothes were there. Her medication was there. Everything was there. So she was taken against her will, and we have no idea why or how or any of that stuff. right? Until the police department comes out with another news conference to give everybody more information, we have no idea. Right now, this is just speculation, and we have no clue, right? We literally know nothing right now. It's not much. It really isn't much. There's what I was just thinking about this today. I said, you know what? There have been circumstances where people have been kidnapped, that their family members don't get to have this type of media attention. And when people go missing in general, they don't have like national news coverage of situations like that happen to people. You hear about it locally, obviously, local news, and sometimes it gets picked up for national news, depending upon the severity of the case, right? But I was just thinking about this earlier today. I was like, there's so many cases out there that family members have not had the coverage that they were only hoping a fraction of that they can get as the national coverage on this one. Like, man, if only I had just a slightest little bit of coverage on my mom or my dad that was kidnapped, or my grandfather that went missing, or whatever the case may be. There's so many times where family was just like, it's just not getting enough press, and people just don't know about it unless you read it online somewhere or just see it in the local news or newspaper or whatever, right? And I feel for those families. I really do. I feel for families that they don't get that kind of attention if something bad happens like that to their family. It just kind of feels like it gets swept under the rug, or you never hear about it. And that happens all the time. Sadly, it just doesn't get the attention, right? Because again, we live in a society right now, because we're talking about it. The one thing that sells in the media is something bad happening in the world. That's what makes the money. Chaos, destruction, craziness in the media is what makes money. That's what gets people's attention. Is the bad stuff that happens. Because right now, this is national attention, is national news media for this case. I'm not calling it out to be, I can't, but how dare they cover this, and shit on all the locals just people that never had the opportunity to have this type of news media for their loved one that might have happened something similar to them. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's just a shame. Right? It's just a shame. And the amount of just negativity surrounding this story, which there's a lot of it. There's a shit ton of it. This is sad. It's mysterious, because that's what sells. It's got sadness to it. It's got emotion. It's got all these different things that cause people to feel a specific way. And it's making people draw their attention to it, and it boosts ratings for news coverage. So like Fox News is getting a shit ton of views over this. All the news media is getting a shit ton of views over this. A lot of them are because it sells, and news media picks and chooses what they want to cover. So like MS Now, thinking that rebranding their network is going to somehow change their ways of how they cover Donald Trump. But even like MS Now, like for example, if a news outlet covers like a presidential speech, they may only chime in here and there and they won't cover it. But another news media outlet will cover the entire thing, right? So they pick and choose what they want to cover. This is this has nothing to do with politics. This is totally different. I'm just saying, like, violence sells. Violence really does sell. It sells. It really does. Because people you have those people out there that are watching this case right now that's like, ooh, her mother was taken. There's blood splatter on the front porch and we don't know where she's at. That's like a mystery that people are going to be glued to. And obviously being Savannah Guthrie's mother, just because of who she is. That's the only reason why it's getting all this attention, is because of who her daughter is. Obviously, that's when people are going to really want to tune in and watch and see what happens. It's like the O.J. Simpson case. Anybody here old enough to remember the O.J. Simpson trial? Shit, that got like worldwide coverage. It's all because of who he was. Now, if that same thing happened to somebody else that lives in wherever in the United States, but just didn't have that fame of somebody being famous, but the same exact thing happened, you wouldn't hear that. You wouldn't hear that coverage as much. Now, given the circumstances of the case, and that might actually go national news. But I'm just saying, like, something like that may not get the press coverage. It's all about who they are. It's because it's a famous. Let's just face it. It's a famous celebrity. It's a famous news anchor on the Today Show. And the whole entire thing, again, I'm not putting any of this down or anything. I just wish that, because the whole thing is just, it's sad. It really is. It's sad because your mom is gone and you don't know where she's at. You have no idea. That can happen to any of us at any time, anywhere, right? To be taken against your will and you have no clue where they are. And you hope for the best. You pray that your loved one is still alive. That can happen to anybody, right? At any age, any time. I just feel for the families. And like I said, I've seen a lot of missing cases. Like, I've read upon a lot of missing case reports with Dave Politis and the things that he covers and the missing 411 stuff that he talks about and on his YouTube channel. And he's got documentaries on this stuff. The families probably are like, you can't help but to think like, man, I just wish we had that type of press. Like, we wish that we had just a fraction of that press, you know what I mean? And you can't help but to feel for people like that, because there's been times where people have just went missing and just vanished. And then their families are like, it just didn't get the coverage. And they feel like we have to continue to have press conferences to keep this relevant in the news cycle so we can get help to figure out where the hell our mom's at, or our dad or brother or sister or whatever, right? Or nephew, uncle, cousin, whatever. So I'm just thinking about other individuals that may not have had the luxury of having this type of press to find their loved one. And again, I'm not saying anything. I'm not dumping on the Savannah Guthrie case, or Nancy Guthrie, because I really hope that they find her. I really do. I really, truly do. I just feel like those families, I wish that those families that had similar situations and any family that had to go through a tragedy like this, that they had the same type of coverage. And you just kind of wish that was the case, because there's many a times where people go missing. And I was sitting there thinking to myself the other day about this case. I was like, hey, could you imagine? And this happens quite a bit, where somebody will go missing, not kidnapped, but just missing. Somebody will go missing. Okay. And then the area where they went missing is being searched by sometimes hundreds of individuals that are volunteering to find this person where they went missing in that vicinity, in that area. Okay. And they have searched that area where they went missing dozens of times for days upon days. They researched that area 6, 7, 10 plus times. And then all of a sudden they call off a search because they can't find somebody. They call it off. And then all of a sudden, some random individual that's just hiking or within that area, just by themselves, finds that person there. Like, they find the body of the person they were looking for. And then law enforcement and volunteers are like, we searched that area multiple times. We searched it multiple times. That same spot by all of us. And that person was not there. Now all of a sudden they're there. How? We searched it. How did that happen? Like, nobody can explain it. And then I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, could you imagine? That's what, when they searched the septic tank, a part of me said, oh God, she's in the septic tank. Everybody was thinking that, right? Because usually sometimes that people that go missing, sometimes they're right there and they just overlook the area, but they're right there within the spot where they went missing, right? And when they were searching the septic tank, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna find something down there. They're gonna find something down there. It's not gonna be good. That a part of my brain, you can't help but to think like, why the septic tank? What? You're searching the septic tank for what? What's down there? Her? Like that's where your mind goes. Your mind goes to that area because you think to yourself, God, she's in the septic tank. That's where they're going to find her. That's where I thought that they were going to find a body, was in that septic tank. But, nothing there, right? Nothing was there. So as far as like what could potentially happen to her, or where, or like, is she within the vicinity? There's a possibility. Like, you ever heard that term? Like, it's right under, or that, what's that saying? It's right under your nose the whole entire time. You ever heard of that I'm just paraphrasing, like that saying, like, oh, the clue was right there the whole entire time. You just overlooked it. That happens a lot. That happens a lot where people are just, it is a horrible situation where people just trying to find a solution to a very sad situation of what happened, and all the things that they were looking for to trying to put the pieces together. They're like, we can't figure this out. What the hell happened? And it was like, right, the answer to your problem was there the whole entire time. You just overlooked it. That happens in a lot of missing persons cases. And you just hope that nothing bad has happened to her, meaning that she's no longer with us. You hope that's not the case. You really do. You hope she's still alive, and you hope that she's not injured too much, because you do know there was some sort of injury there to cause her to bleed, obviously, probably from in my opinion, she had a struggle, and she got injured during the struggle, and she bled on her way out the door. That's a possibility. Does law enforcement know that? I don't know. If they do, they're not saying. They're just not. And a lot of people are giving them some people are giving them like really bad, not advice, but a lot of people are just totally just saying all sorts of things that I've heard, like, they're not doing a good job. Why aren't they saying anything? Why aren't they doing this? How come they couldn't know anything right now? It's been 12 days. Yeah. And all this stuff. Like, you have to understand, like, they're probably not used to this. It's probably not something that these law enforcement officers and investigators are used to doing. How many kidnappings are in Pima County? When's the last time somebody was kidnapped in Pima County in Arizona? I don't know. Is this the first one? Probably not. But I mean, it's probably rare. It probably doesn't have. You're probably more likely to get attacked by a grizzly bear than go missing. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying, like, there's the rarity of that is probably, it's just, you don't hear about it all the time. It's just a very unique situation. So we're just going to have to kind of sit back and just kind of watch it all unfold. And then hopefully something happens that we hear some good news in the next day or two. Again, we're on 12 days. At least for me, if I give it a month, within the 30-day mark, hopefully that's not the case. But in my opinion, if they haven't found anything by day 30 or heard of anything or any new leads, eventually what tends to happen is, at least that I've read in missing persons cases, that if they don't find anything within a set period of time, and I think this is any case in law enforcement that they're investigating, it goes cold. Eventually they run out of resources. They run out of leads, not resources, but they run out of just evidence. They're like, we have nothing else to look at. We have nothing. We have no new leads. The leads are all starting to sound the same. They're all leading to nothing. And then eventually it goes cold. And that's a very, very well possibility that that didn't make sense. That is a very real, that's what I meant to say. That is a very real possibility that could happen. It's a very real scenario that could very much outfold. I'm not making sense. I haven't had dinner yet, y'all. I haven't had dinner yet. It's a very real possibility that could be, that could come to pass. But we just hope that doesn't happen. We really do. I have zero faith in Americans. If y'all didn't watch my video that I put out a video of why are people so damn angry. You should go check it out. I threw it up on my YouTube channel just a few days ago. Go check it out. It's my own philosophy, or my own 2 cents of just talking about why humanity is so damn angry, not just in America, but just in general. And you can't help but to put that together in this scenario and say, how would somebody be that hateful and that crazy to just take somebody like that and just run off with them? What possesses somebody to do something like that? Money? Fame? They want their name out there in like the worst way possible. Like, what possesses somebody to do it? If you're religious and you believe in God, you're going to say it's just sin. It's the devil. It's like a form of having the devil in them, and a form of like, some sort of like demonic possession of some sort that causes, because like, what else causes that other than saying it's mental health issues, which I feel is on a scale like we've never seen before in this country, mental health. And that goes hand in hand with, what's wrong with people. So, and not to get too far off on a tangent on that, but if you want to know my opinion on just why people are so angry, go check out that video. It's, I feel like it's really interesting. Why do people do what they do? I feel that people do what they do because we're in a day and age where nobody gives a shit anymore. You have to watch yourself. You have to be careful. You really got to watch and be aware. You really do. Whether you're a young adult, even if you're a kid, like you teach your kids to be aware of your surroundings. Just watch out. Just be alert. And especially for like our grandparents, if you still have people in the chat here, if you still have grandparents, if you still have parents that are elderly, like check on them, make sure they're good. To even telling them like, hey, just, when you go out, you probably already know this, but just be careful. Just watch yourself. Okay. And that's the other thing. Like, I couldn't figure out that kind of annoyed me a little bit. And this is just me, just, if I had to pick something wrong with the Nancy Guthrie case, like wrong with it, because I didn't know that the cloud, that you were able to go and recover data from the cloud. I thought that the doorbell camera footage would just disappear, but it does disappear over time. If you don't have a subscription, it goes to a cloud and then it stays there for a set amount of time. And then I think it just disappears. I didn't think it did that. I was thinking like it would go to the cloud and just, it'd be gone. Like it's just gone. I didn't know it's saved there for a set amount of time. And I thought you had to have a subscription for that. But for me, if that's my mom and I'm in a position to, I'm in a position of wealth, making, especially that kind of money, because I don't know what Savannah Guthrie's salary is. I think it's millions of dollars. I read it was like $4+ million a year, whatever it was. For me, if I make that kind of money, I am making sure that my mother, who's elderly and has health issues, I'm going to make sure she's got cameras that are high definition, that are the best type of quality of camera out there. I'm going to make sure that the property is secure. I'm going to make sure that she is in the safest place that she could possibly be all the time. And it's just a little Nest camera. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy over this stuff. Sorry, negative. I'm not trying to be negative. That's my saying again. Stop being a negative Nancy. Don't be a Karen. The thing about it is, like, if I'm in that situation, I'm financially able to take care of my parents, financially for the rest of their life, no problem. I'm going to make sure that they're very well protected, very well managed in a way that's going to be beneficial for them, their health, their well-being. And it just felt like you had a Nest camera. You couldn't get your mom. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't get some sort of more advanced technology, something in color, something in, you know what I mean? Just something a little bit more advanced. And when I saw that it was just a Nest doorbell camera, I'm like, come on, that's cheap. Get something, get something else, like for me, like I want like a, for my home, I would, if I'm making that kind of money, I have the best type of security that I can put on my home. I have steel shutters that obviously look nice, it looks nice. It's slick. It looks nice. Right. And like a big heavy steel door, like you are not getting in this fucking house. I don't care if you bring a fucking tank. You are not getting in this house. That's my mentality. I would have a construction company come out and install like a safe room. You know what I mean? To put yourself in a safe room that's got like food supply and supplies and water and like, all like a separate phone that has like a landline that you can dial out to 911, all this stuff, man. I'd be set like you're going to carry this GPS tracker. That's where my mind would go. And I don't even know if that's it. She could have had some sort of security on her house. I have no idea. As far as I know, there's nothing. It's just a standard house, right? I think that house was worth about $1 million. I heard on the news. It's just not it's a very nice area that she lives in. But again, it just goes back to, if I have that kind of income, I'm making that kind of money, I'm going to take care of my parents. I just am. And I'm going to take care of them in a way that I can feel safe going to sleep at night, knowing that my mom or my dad or my parents are in a place of safety and comfort, and nobody's going to enter this house without very sophisticated photo and video evidence. Like, if you blink a certain way, it's going to be caught on 8K high definition cameras in color, like I'm watching a movie that's in high definition. Like, you will not even be able to fart without that camera picking it up. You know what I mean? Like, that's my mentality on the whole thing. I just wish that she would have had better security. That's all I'm saying. I just wish it was more secure. Like, that person obviously got into the house. How did he get into the house? How did he get in there? We have no idea. Was it forced entry? I don't know if it was. I think it was. I don't think it was it? Forced entry? I don't think it was. Like, how did he get in there? Did he knock on the door and she opened the door and he forced his way in? That happens all the time. Forced entry, right? But I don't think there was any signs of forced entry or any of that stuff, right? And it just goes hand in hand. Like, how did he get in there? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing with you guys at this point, but all I know is, like, I just hope that she's found. It was a very unfortunate situation. Here we are. And we just hope that she's found and she's alive and that she's not severely injured and that she'll be brought back home and that her family will be able to reunite with her and just, try to recover from this tragedy. So, but only time will tell, guys. So only time will tell. So there was one other thing I wanted to discuss with you guys here today, but we're over the 1 hour mark and I kind of didn't really want to go too much further than the 1 hour. We were talking about, losing faith in humanity. Fuck it. We'll talk about it. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. I call this, ladies and gentlemen, this segment of this, the unofficial breakdown. That's my whole thing of breaking down just stuff that's on my mind. right? Just what I'm thinking that I want to share with you guys. Okay. So let's kind of talk about faith in humanity. Let's talk about faith in humanity. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this lately, like really sitting with it in my mind. Is humanity, because when you think of just losing faith in humanity, what do you think of? Like if you lose faith in humanity because you think people are just scum or people are reckless and people are just so violent with each other and people are so damn hateful anymore, you can't help but to think to yourselves, are we destined to destroy ourselves at some point? Think of all the militaries in the world. Think of all the things that cause people to be unhinged, that causes just a chain reaction of just violence and things of that nature, right? And you can't help but to think to yourself, like, can that eventually boil into us just ultimately destroying ourselves as a species? You know what I mean? Is that a possibility? Because it's something that I've been thinking about. Is humanity just destined to destroy itself? Not in some Hollywood end of the world type way, not like that, but quietly and inevitably, because that's kind of what we do as a species. We destroy things. We destroy each other. We destroy wildlife. We destroy, some people might say we destroy our own planet through global warming, if you believe in that type of thing, if you think that's a real thing, or you disagree with, you know, climate change or whatever that might be. But every time I read about it, like every time, like you look at the Mayans or the Maya, or Eastern Islanders, or the Bronze Age, that collapsed, you kind of get a weird feeling that these were smart people, the Egyptians, the Mayans, the people that built these really nice pyramids in Egypt and stuff. Like, you can't help to think that these people were very intelligent, very smart individuals that were able to do these things from thousands of years ago. You can't help but to think these are very smart people. They built incredible stuff. They had cities, they had writing, trade, art, and then one day it was just gone. Not because of some asteroid or alien invasion. It's because they ran out of water or cut down the last trees or fought over, you know, what was left, you know, and the whole system just kind of fell apart, right? And they probably thought we were too advanced for that to happen to them. That's probably what they were thinking. We're so far advanced as a tribe or as a species. Like back in those times, people just thought, hey, yeah, this is the way it's going to be, and that's it, right? And then all of a sudden, gone. Ancient civilizations gone, and you can't help to think, but how? Why? What? Why are those people no longer here? And we tell ourselves, yeah, we're way too advanced as a species for that to even happen again. And we've got satellites, we got vaccines, we have the internet, we have all this knowledge. But honestly, we're the first species that actually has the tools to end the whole experiment. And we're kind of casually using them. When you think about it, we use the internet every day. We have satellites all over the place. There's satellites outside of our homes for whatever, you know, internet satellites. We have satellites to space. We have nuclear weapons. We have a super advanced military, not just us, but all in some parts of the world. Like, we have all this crazy stuff. And, you know, you can't help but to think like, wow, we are very advanced as a civilization, as a species. But let me walk you through just a few things that could end us as a species. And when you really sit there and you ponder on this stuff, it's really interesting. So I mentioned nuclear weapons. That's a big one. You hear nuclear a lot nowadays, probably more so than you did during the Cold War. You hear a lot of nuclear this, nuclear that. And we still have about 12,000 warheads on the planet. Not just us, but I think about 12,000 all over the world. I think that's a rough estimate. A lot of them are on hair-triggered alerts as well. Even a limited exchange between, let's just say, like maybe India or Pakistan. You guys remember that when they were kind of having their feud there? That could kick off a nuclear winter. And if that's the case, like if a country goes to war with each other like that, what tends to happen? Crops die, billions of people starve, but it's not the most likely thing that could happen, but it's still on the table. So nuclear war is a way that we can potentially destroy ourselves as a species. Then there's engineered pandemics. Does that ring a bell? You have COVID. COVID was bad, but it wasn't designed to be as bad as it could have been. Today, though, someone with a decent lab skills could make something way worse, something more contagious like measles, or make something really lethal like smallpox. And then there could be an accidental leak of, intentional release. Either way, we could lose billions before we even understand what's happening. Remember when COVID was a thing? Still kind of is. People are still catching it. That we had no idea what that was going to turn into. We had no idea, like the shitstorm that brought upon us. And you can't help but to think to yourself, like, shit, that could happen again. That could happen again. That's way worse and could potentially have very devastating effects on us as the human race. And then if you move away from, nuclear weapons, advanced biohazard, or bioengineered, diseases and bacterial infections and viruses and things, you can't help but to think to yourself, and then there's AI. This actually kind of keeps me up sometimes because I use AI a lot. It keeps me up. It keeps me thinking about how advanced AI is and the things that it's capable of. And I use it all the time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I use AI on a regular basis, and you probably do too. Some of you guys probably use AI a lot. It's very beneficial. It helps you out with your day-to-day tasks, especially if you're just trying to figure something out. AI is very helpful, but we're building systems that are going to be smarter than us and probably sometime this century. The danger isn't Skynet, from Terminator with robot armies. It's that we create something that pursues its goals so effectively that we're just in the way. That there's this kind of famous thought experiment. Like just imagine this for a second here. Just imagine an AI told to maximize paperclip production or something like that. It doesn't hate us. It's not evil. It just turns everything, including us, into paperclips because that's the objective, right? It sounds ridiculous until you realize we already have AIs optimizing for engagement and profit with zero regard for what that does to society. If you scale that end up, yeah, that's a problem. And it's all because of somebody's behind that, engineering that technology. There's a human touch to that. That's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. So AI is scary. Not saying that we're going to turn into something like Terminator and you're going to have like I just said, like you're not going to have a bunch of armies of AI robots just going around and totally annihilating the human race. Not saying that. Think of like other ways that AI could be very dangerous to us if we don't get a grasp on it and control it. But then you also have people, climate change. You have people talking about climate change and is like a slow burn version of climate change with the atmosphere and everything else. And people are projecting how climate change is going to destroy the planet. And, we're slowly getting warmer and the planet is cooling off. We're not as cold as we should be. Winters aren't as cold as they should be. Summers are extremely brutal and extremely hot. So you have people that will say that, and then you have winters like we have now where it's like blistering cold and there's like feet of snow on the ground and everybody's trying to thaw out. And yeah, that's winter, right? That's wintertime. And then summer, it's hot out. Summertime is hot. Wintertime is cold. Fall time is just right. But you have people that think that climate change is going to be the end all be all. And people tend to tell you that climate change is going to be the one thing that wipes this planet out. Now, whether you agree with me on that or not, I'm not a fan of climate change. I think that's just been a talk for years upon years and years and years, and we're still here. And by the time I think that if we, as we talk right now, think that climate change is going to do something, which it should have killed us years ago, planet should have been done and over with years ago, according to some climatologist. We should have died a long time ago. This planet should have died a long time ago, but we're still here. But climate change is another thing that a lot of people are stuck on, that a lot of people are talking about. So when you add it all up, it's kind of heavy, right? It's like heavy on the mind when you really think about this stuff. So we're not being threatened by nature anymore. We're the threat. We are. Us, people, we're the threat. We invented all these risks ourselves. All of us did. But here's where I always pause and go, okay. But we've also done some pretty insane good stuff too, right? We've banned certain chemicals that were destroying maybe like the ozone layer, and science got more clear. We have better understanding of how things work versus 50 years ago, 25 years ago, technology wise. Like we have a very, very well understanding of how things work. We have better scientists now. We have technology that can help us understand things better. So we also have a very smart brain that can get us to not destroy ourselves, like to at least benefit us as a species. Like we're way smarter today than we were 50 years ago. Just look at how much technology has changed, right? I mean, if you told somebody 50 years ago that you're going to sit in front of a camera and talk to thousands of people about your opinions on something, they think you're crazy. Like what? You mean like watching the news? No, I'm talking like on a camera, on a computer that's built like this. It has this kind of power, blah, blah, blah. They think you're crazy. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be something? That'd be special, wouldn't it? Wow. That would be, wow. Geez, I don't think we're ever going to get there yet. Here we are. Although we did think that we would have flying cars by now, but we don't. Elon Musk is working on that as we speak, I think. Probably within the next 10 years or so, we might have flying cars with him in charge. I don't know. So we went to the moon with computers that had less power than my phone. We really did. We pulled back from the brink during Cold War more than once. There was a few times where we almost went to nuclear war. We had nuclear war multiple times. We're capable of waking up when it matters. That's what I'm trying to say. When it matters, we're like, okay, we probably shouldn't do that. That's not a good idea. Right? The difference now is the stakes are total. There's no oops. Let's try it again in 1,000 years. Like this is it. We're so far advanced as a species with technology. Like we can do it. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. It doesn't take much to destroy ourselves. So no, I don't think we're destined to destroy ourselves anytime soon. For me, I don't think we are. I think we're the first generation that actually has to decide on purpose. Like, we have to really sit back and think to ourselves, like, is that a good idea? But we can also get ahead of ourselves and not think of like, well, what could happen if we do this? Here's the outcome. We think of the worst in everything. Everything has pros and cons, right? Everything does. And that decision isn't going to be made by some big heroic moment. It's going to be made by thousands of smaller choices that we do or that we make. How we regulate AI. That's probably the biggest thing on the plate right now is AI, artificial intelligence. That's something that is very, very advanced in comparison to what it was like 3-4 years ago. How seriously we are to take pandemic preparedness so we don't have another COVID or any kind of like severe pandemic. How we prioritize like carbon. You know, that's a big deal. How do we talk to each other instead of screaming at each other? Learning how to talk to one another instead of trying to figure out how I can disagree with somebody's political opinion or somebody's opinion and then hate them for it because they don't agree with you. No, I hate that person now. You know, it doesn't take much to just set somebody off. It really doesn't. Right? And I think we all know that much. I'm not saying it's hopeless, that we're hopeless as a species. I'm saying it's on us right now while we still have time to choose differently. We still have time to make things right, to make things better. We have the ability to do all those things. Anyway, that's what's been kind of churning in my head lately, and I wanted to kind of share that with you guys and just kind of share that. But I think us as a human race, I think we're going to be here for a long time. And with the advancements of technology, I don't think we're going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think in the distant future somewhere, I think we are going to be very much alive. And by then we may have migrated to another planet someplace to continue the human race. So we don't end up being some part of some ancient civilization that once was. So are we destined to destroy ourselves? Yeah. We can't, like, we're not destined to destroy ourselves on purpose, but we have that capability to do it if we allow it to happen. And that, my friends, is the unofficial breakdown. If you haven't already, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on all those notifications so you don't miss any time that I upload a video or when I go live. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, we will see all of you on the next video. That's my outro. I'm going to turn that into a video, guys. That's going to be a video on demand. Anyway, yeah, Mars. We might end up in Mars one day. If you allow Elon Musk to keep doing what he's doing, we're going to be in Mars. We're going to be in Mars, guys. We're going to be on the red planet. Although I did hear that Mars has a very good view of the solar system and the stars and stuff. Like, you can see it like way better than us, that we can, or not way better, way better than we can see our own stars in our own solar system. And it's because, like, I guess like Mars doesn't have like the atmosphere that we do or something like that. And it makes the skies like way more clear at night. So you can see further out into space and things are just a lot more clear at night. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. All right, guys, until next time, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me here today. We pray for Nancy Guthrie. We pray for her return. We pray for her family, and we hope that it's a good outcome. And we hope it happens soon. So we hope she's found soon. Have a great rest of your night, guys. We'll talk to you on the next one. I am out of here. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you later.